Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's me, Teri Hunter, and I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide and empowerment coach, and I'm here on Lotta's channel every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. to give you an angel reading by Ascendant for the week coming ahead. So I have a few things I'd like to announce to everybody before we start. First, for those that are new to my channel, I just want to kind of clarify what my contribution to Lotta's channel is. These weekly readings are about, they're sort of like piggybacking on what Ksenia does with the weather forecast. It is what I call the angel's advice for maneuvering through the week's astrological dynamics. These aren't necessarily predicting. That would be more akin to a personal reading because there's the potential of addressing so many people. So that's why I just wanted to clarify what I do here on Lotta's channel. I also want to let everybody know that I am offering a special reading. It's a half-hour reading focused in on the how Ketu, Saturn, and the Pluto conjunction will affect you directly. It's a 2-week, for 2 weeks, it's on special till April 15th. It's regularly, I think, 89, and now it's going to be 59 for those 2 weeks. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. And then I'm very excited to announce a winner. Finally, we have a winner. Okay. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I don't know why I'm so excited to give stuff away, but I just am. Okay, so the number was 77, and our winner is Artsy Girl Marilyn. So, Artsy Girl Marilyn, when you hear this, because I'm not sure you're here right now, please contact me through Lotta's website, and we will schedule your free half-hour reading. I'm so excited to have a winner. So now 77 is going to come out of play, and I'm going to draw a new number for the next week. Remember, you're picking numbers between 1 and 500. If you go to Lotta's website and you send me an email with your number, I can't accept it. It has to be here either on the live feed or in the comments, because I want to make sure everybody else can see who drew the first number, especially like when there's multiples like 333, 111, that kind of thing. Hi, everybody. Welcome Sunday morning. I'm so excited you're here. Okay, so I'm going to draw one more number. Let me grab the vase. Here it is. Shake it up a little bit. Stick my hand in there. Okay, got me a number. Hopefully this will put us on a winning streak. It's so much fun to win. Okay, everybody, here we go. I'm going to tie this in a little knot. Artsy Girl Marilyn, you are this week's winner. So please take advantage. You were number 77. Where is it? The light. There you go. Okay. All right, everybody, on to the readings. Okay, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to now say I'm going to attempt not to talk too much, maybe while I'm shuffling, but not during the readings. I can really empathize with those of you that have been very kind in your constructive criticism and asking me to stick and be focused, because I agree with you. And Teri talks too much in class, and that's why I don't do less than a half-hour reading. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's start with Aries. We'll start with our angel deck. Happy birthday, Melissa. Yay. What a great day to be born. Okay, what is up for Aries this week? Okay, our first angel is Oceana. The second is Astera. The third is Grace and Antoinette. And the final is Athena. I really like doing it with both decks. I've decided that's how I'm going to kind of focus, because it gives me, I think, more detail for y'all. All right. So joining Oceana is Merlin. Then we have Astera. Then we have the Letting Go card. And then finally the Hawk. Okay, So I'm going to kind of explain the cards as I go along, and then their meanings, because I don't know if you're all familiar with these decks. So in the foundational position, what Aries is sitting on this week is Merlin is the Grand Wizard, represents karma, justice, balance, but it's balance through pressure. Now, Oceana says to lovingly assert yourself towards the things that you want. Now, I want to say this energy right now, we've got the Pluto stuff going on. We've got K2 conjunct. There is a bubbling up. Everybody's feeling it in some part of their life, which is why I'm doing that special reading. And so for Aries this week, I want to say that as you see things bubbling up, allow yourself to lovingly assert yourself. I feel like there's a certain amount of gentility that has to be thought about in a kind of a strategic way, to be honest, because in my opportunity and or my obstacle, I have a stare to reaching for the stars with your dreams and your desires. And this is without compromise. This is with a very strong focus. And then I have the dog. The dog represents unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. And when I look at this, I don't necessarily feel like this is one-on-one love as much as it feels like a collective that plays back to why Aries is taking action in the first place. Is Aries taking action right now to balance things out? That's what Merlin would offer. Maybe there's been a situation in Aries as a collective that's been disruptive. And I want to say that because in the Angel's advice is Grace and Antoinette, and then the letting go card. So Grace and Antoinette is a card of compassion. It's a card of seeing things from another person's point of view. And then the letting go card is not about letting things go for me. I'm not really capable of that. It's about Elsa going up the mountain in Frozen. It's funny how some distance makes everything look small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. I'm going to go to the final position, and then I want to summarize a little bit, because I think this is about Aries going through a bit of disruption that's leading to balance, that's leading to what's more fair. And maybe Aries is having to push themselves a little bit in a way that Mars energy is making you feel a little blunt, a little direct, and you're wanting to purport the more softer dynamic of Mars, but you're being sort of feeling like if you don't push yourself, something you won't get. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Because here I have Athena saying to lovingly assert yourself, lovingly and powerfully. So we're getting a lot of the angels that are asking us to assert ourselves, Aries, rising. And then here's the hawk. This is again about rising above my fears, seeing things from a bigger picture, and on some level, turning over what seems insurmountable to spirit. This is where Astera comes in. For me, I'm an Aries rising, and there's certain things going on that I have a certain amount of control over, and then I have to pass the baton on to spirit. So this is where I feel like it's now Aries' turn to then now. Last week, I think I might have said to Aries, it was time to let spirit lead the charge. Now I feel like spirit has given you another sign or signal, and it's time to lovingly assert yourself in that direction. This is not always about physical assertion. It's about strategizing. It's about planning. It's about having a cool head while you move forward. I don't feel there's an outcome to the situation just yet. It's more about Aries having to assess how they show up. It can't be a lob your heads off type of thing. Now, I don't know if you guys pay attention to Chiron, the wounded healer. I know Lotta doesn't talk about that asteroid much when she does astrology, but I'm kind of fascinated by it. And it has gone into Aries for the next till 2027. And I bring that up because the general dynamic of Chiron is to, the wounded healer, they say, but it's three aspects. It's the wound that the soul comes into in this lifetime. Then it's the shaman's energy. As the wound is identified, it gives an opportunity for healing. And then as the healing takes place, it becomes the alchemist that transforms that, which plays really back to what Merlin has to offer in that energy. So I feel like, and I'm getting chills all over the place when I say this. So for Aries, I feel like this is going to be a period of time to really look about how you go about this, not losing your mind in that Pluto energy and getting overly you may be right, but if you don't show up in a way that other people can hear it, you may get lost in the shuffle. That's why Spirit is really encouraging you to lovingly assert yourself. Okay, I'm going to go on to Taurus before I sound like I'm repeating myself, which I might already have. Welcome, everybody. All right, we're on to Taurus rising now. Okay. All right. Our first angel is Rosetta. The second is Archangel Uriel. The third is Chantal. And the final is Ray. Wow. Okay. All righty. Hello, Kenya. Welcome. I love seeing where you all are in the world. If you all want to put that down and just put down where you are in the world, I'd love to see that. I'm in Laguna Beach, California. All right. Joining Rosetta is the protection card. Joining Archangel Uriel is the horse. Joining Chantal is the swan. And joining Ray is the mystery card. All right, Taurus rising. Very first thing I was getting about this is that it has to do with your hopes and your dreams, and not your hopes and your dreams and just in general, but in relation to intimate partnerships. What I have here is I have Rosetta. Okay, so she will represent having a way, working with children, teaching, parenting. But in a collective like this, for me, I always believe that it's about what the inner child wants. And then I have the protection card. I got this feeling for Taurus that if you're in a relationship or if a relationship has been crumbling, ending, or you're nursing the wounds of a relationship that you had a lot of hope for, I feel like Spirit is actually asking you to look deeper into that situation. Did it really work for you? Because I have in the opportunity, the obstacle, I have Archangel Uriel, who helps us deal with the subtle emotion. The male energy of Archangel Uriel deals on a subtle level with our own anger, frustration, unforgiveness. And then I have the horse. Now, the horse for me is a very intuitive card. It's a very intuitive animal. It will not lift its foot if you're fear-based. So here, I want to say to Taurus rising, I feel like on an intuitive level, you may have known that this relationship wasn't exactly what it was, what would have made you happy. And I say this because in the angel's advice, I have Chantal and I have the swan. Chantal represents romance, represents either the resurgence of a romance or a new romance coming in. But in the angel's advice, it isn't about that. It's about looking at the romance and seeing if it really served you and giving you an opportunity to transform it. I want to say to Taurus, you know what? If somebody that you love, that's even a great person, they don't even have to be a bad person. It just doesn't really work out. It's just the relationship has reached its natural conclusion. On some level, fighting it is kind of not really serving you, because in the final position, I have the mystery card, which is about choice. And then I have Ray. Ray is about connecting with Spirit, my feelings of, when I see the yellow stripe, I think of it as my power center, coming up through my third eye, up through Spirit, and it's flanked by the green and the blue of my heart and throat chakra. So I'm turning over to Spirit, my deepest truth, and coordinating my power. And this is where I want to go back to Rosetta and the protection card. I want to offer Taurus this, Taurus rising. What if the relationship that you are coming to conclusion with, had you continued on it, it would have actually eroded you and your childlike innocence of partnership. And I believe that if you really kind of allow yourself to get clean with what it did for you, that it would be easier to transfer out of it, to reconcile it, to see the wisdom of the ending of it, so that somebody new can come in that's more aligned to you vibrationally and has offering you more happiness. So I'm just putting it that way. If for some reason Taurus rising is like me and you're single, okay, and you have no relationship at all, then your concept of a relationship is what I want to talk about. Your belief, your childlike innocence that a relationship is actually available to you, regardless of your age, your weight, your wrinkles, your crinkles, whatever it is. Love is unconditional. And I say that from Source's point of view. Humans are very conditional. So turn over your desires to spirit. And I want to say this too for single Taurians rising. When you're talking to spirit about the type of partner you want, it's very important to put down the characteristics of the person you want, because I will guarantee you that when spirit delivers those characteristics, you will be physically attracted to that person. They will just crawl on you like white on rice, on moss on a rock, and you will just love it. So really allow yourself to go back to that deep place of innocence and trust and believing in fairy tales, and turn it over to spirit. We have a new moon this week, a new moon of Aries. It's, I think, on Friday, the 5th. I should have checked before I started. So, okay, let's go on to Gemini. Thanks, everybody, for putting in your towns. Hi, Fairfield, Iowa. Hi, Portugal. Hi, Tennessee. Hi, Arkansas. Oh, I love it. Hi, Malta. Yay. Okay, let's go on. Hi, Canada. Hi, Minneapolis. Yay. Bend, Oregon. I've been there. I love Bend. I love Oregon in general. It's a beautiful state. Oh, I want to start with the angels. Okay, Gemini, what is up for you this week? Okay. Our first angel is Teresa. The second is Chantal. The third is Shanti. And the final is Aurora. Hello, Nepal. Yay. All right, Gemini rising, this is you. Here we go. All right, wow. Okay. Well, this is very interesting. Okay, so Gemini, in our first position, we have the angel Teresa. And Teresa represents, for me, she's kind of a card of worry. She's a card of putting a lot of focus out into everything else in the world but myself. And then I have the partnership card. So Gemini, are you worried about your partnership? Have you been putting a lot of focus and a lot of thought into your partnership? Because, and I'm going to jump to the final position before I go into the angel's advice, because I have Aurora saying that you're flying high right now, not to descend, that you may threaten others, but to continue on, you will soon inspire them. And then I have the death card. This does not necessarily mean the death of a relationship. It means the transformation of it. And I feel like for Gemini, this is not even about your relationship ending at all. It's about having the sight and the vision is the word I want to use, to allow your partnership to transform, and in doing so, breaking a certain box that maybe other people would think was not breakable. When two people or when a group of people have been together for a while, or they tend to have certain habits and they have certain expectations of how other people will respond. So I feel like this is the box that's potentially getting broken for Gemini, because, and I say this all in my intimate body, because here's Chantal again. She is in the opportunity and or the obstacle, talking about your intimate relationships. And then I have the B card. The B represents luck, industriousness, and victory, but it's about my being energy. So this week, I really think that Gemini gets to look at how much time you're spending worrying about your partnership, and if indeed your partnership will be able to transform into a healthy place. Because what I'm seeing, and the reason I say healthy place is because I have Shanti, the angel of peace, here in the angel's advice, and then I have the restriction card. So this is really a time when I feel like Spirit is asking Gemini rising to look at your partnerships, both intimate partnerships, or I kind of feel like this is all partnerships in some respects, business partnerships, potentially family relationships. It feels like it's about relationships that I am familiar with. So I have a certain expectation of how others will respond. And because of that expectation, I'm worrying about something. So I feel like Spirit is saying to Gemini, break the box, and give yourself an opportunity to see for transformation. Again, new moon this week in Aries springtime, the new beginnings. I don't know that we're going to see actual physical manifestation of the change, but the first thing, starting point is opening your mind to that dynamic. Okay, let's go on to Cancer. Hi, Stephen, welcome. Hi, South Korea. Hey, Nepal. Yay! I love seeing all the places where everybody is. So much fun. And it's so cool that you can join me from all around the world. So you guys, I've told you before, I'm 59 years old. I'm going to be 60 years old in October. Oh my God. But anyway, I could never have conceived this when I was younger. I could never have conceived that I could be sitting in my living room in Laguna Beach and be spending time with everybody from around the world. This is the coolest thing. And this is why I like to do the show live. There's probably some videos I might tape coming up, some things I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to do, coordinate some astrological aspects, again, with the angels dynamic. So those I might do in a video. But I just want to say it's just so much fun for me. And I hope it is for you guys, too, to be here on Sunday mornings. And maybe for some of you, it's Sunday night or Monday morning. I don't know. Okay, let's go on to Cancer. Let's stay focused. Oh, and for those of you just joining, I did announce a winner from this last week's drawing. We had number 77, and it was won by Artsy Girl Marilyn. So if you're just tuning in, Artsy Girl, you're the winner this week. Be sure to check in and send me an email through Lotta's site. Yes, Mars has moved into Gemini. Thank you. Yay. Yay. Okay. On to Cancer. My moon children. Woo. Okay. All right, our first angel is Layla. The second is Aurora. The third is Vanessa. And the final is Desiree. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Cancers rising. This week, very interesting. Let me see. Well, all right. We're just going to get there. The first angel is Layla. Layla is my angel that asked me to spend time in nature. It is how Spirit has the easiest, quickest way to connect with me, to give me signs and give me omens and give me support, okay, through the animals, the dynamics I see, not just animals, but wind, leaves, rocks, certain, paying real attention to the dynamics, because I have the fear card here also with Layla. This spread is a little challenging, Cancer. I'm not going to tell you. It feels like you're in a very transitional place. It feels like you don't have information that's saying concrete. That's what I'm trying to do. Because in my opportunity, my obstacle is the novice. saying there's an unstable new beginning ahead, curiosity without practice. This is akin to the Fool in some respects in the tarot deck. And then I have Aurora. And Aurora, again, talks about flying high, don't descend. You're going to break a box of some kind that will help inspire other people. But this is in my opportunity and or my obstacle. Cancer, you're not comfortable, or you don't have your footing in this. Okay. This is still somewhere in contemplation time, because in Angel's Advice, I have Vanessa saying, are you going to make your decisions based on faith or fear? Faithfully move towards the things you want. Because I also have the Deer here. There's a challenging dynamic in this spread for Cancers, because it ends with Desiree and it ends with the Forgiveness card. And I want to say it this way, because forgiveness is not to me about forgiveness. It's about reconciliation. It's about being able to look at a situation and see how the challenge actually served me and made me stronger at the end of the day. Because I think this is about, I believe this is how it comes across to me. It feels like Cancer rising is going through a situation where you have put yourself in a place that you really are invested in some way. Let's say it's a career move, or maybe it's even a relationship, but you have no evidence of anything happening and it's triggering you somehow. Maybe you've been waiting so long to hear that it's just triggering your deepest fears that you want it and it won't happen. And that's where Vanessa comes in and says, it's time to be gentle with yourself and faithfully move forward. And if indeed, for some reason, you aren't the person, but there are people around you that are sort of like, oh, will that happen? Or, oh, I don't know. And then you're like, it'll happen. It'll happen. It's not an if, it's a when. This is the unstable new beginning. And this is breaking the box and believing in that beginning, because we just went through a Mercury retrograde, and it was a rough one, guys. I had it hit me in the 12th house, and I've never had a Mercury retrograde be so palatable to me. And maybe it has something to do with the Pluto conjunction, but hackers and hidden enemies from all sorts, it was just crazy. So this is maybe what I'm trying to say to Cancer is, maybe what Layla is saying is we can appease your fears as you step out into nature to see that the timing wasn't right to move forward. We've fixed things. We've moved things around so it's more efficient. And in doing so, you have a reconciliation. And I want to offer this to you, Cancer, too. Because, sometimes when we get stuck in that place of, is it going to happen? Isn't it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And we go into the deep, 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 deep part of our, and we think that, yes, that is an empowerment exercise waiting to flourish. Because if you are ever at this fork in the road again, you will trust that inner knowing like you never have before. So this is why I want to say, don't resist this week. Go to your inner knowing and then ask Spirit to continue to validate your faith in yourself, as Vanessa asks you to. Okay? All right, guys, let's go on. I found that sometimes when I pull this cards and it feels a little rough in the spread, I always kind of want everything to be rosy and nice and that kind of thing. But in my personal life, I've found that my greatest tail wags have actually come through when I've been in a challenge and I was triumphant over it, whether I was triumphant over my attitude about it or physically triumphant about it. And when I've done things I didn't think I could do, and I've sat in that unknowing, and then Spirit has given me evidence that it is happening. Like weird stuff, just walking my dog in a different street and running into somebody that ends up, having a conversation with me that supports me that I didn't even know was even around. It's just crazy. So I just want to say, don't get bummed out sometimes, these sometimes when we think things aren't working out, they're working out better than we know they are. And if we had got it the way we wanted it with our small sight on this planet, it wouldn't have been as great as what Spirit can see. Okay. And they also are higher knowing. Okay. On to Leo. Okay, Leo. And just to remind everybody, we have a winner this week. As I said earlier, it was Artsy Girl Marilyn. She pulled 77, and we have a new game in play. So pick a number between 1 and 500. All previous numbers are out of the running because they're out of the bowl. Okay, here we go. Leo rising. And just for clarification, I like to go with the rising sign because just my personal experience is I'm so much my rising sign, and then my moon really comes into play. I'm a Taurus moon, and then I'm a Libra sun. So I encourage y'all to go that route. Your ascendant, your moon, and then your sun. Okay, here we go, Leo. First angel is Indriel. The second is Merlina. The third is Mystique. And the final is Opal. Cheryl, did you hear me? I said it was by rising sign, yes? If you guys don't know your rising sign, you can go to Lotta's website. She has a birth calculator there, and it's simple, Simon. Okay. Of course, you have to know your time of birth. All right, here we go. Leo. All right, the cat joins Indriel. The Lady of the Lake joins Merlina. The Death card joins Mystique. And the Restriction card joins Opal. Well, this is very interesting. I'm going to pull a clarification card on the final position. Just with this deck here, I want to get an idea of what this is a little bit more. Okay. All right. So this is how this plays out to me. Okay. So I know a lot of Leos don't have children. I mean, you could be young and not have children yet. I'm going to the final position because I think that there's, well, I'm kind of bouncing between the first and the fifth. This is, Leo, it feels like this is about your children, and I'm really kind of directing this more to people with actual physical little babies, but we'll also address those that don't afterwards because it's both, I can both ways. But right now, I feel like my Leo parents, this is about independence and healthy boundaries, and Indriel's about shining your light. I'm going to go to the final position and then I'll back up because Opal says your children are happy and safe and well cared for, both on heaven and in earth. Then I got the Restriction card, and then the clarification card was the Risk card. And the very first thing I thought when I saw this spread is that I wonder if there's a bunch of Leo parents that are kids are going off to college and they're just like, not just empty nesters, but like, you know, their kids are starting to mature and show independence and making decisions and going out there. And it's important for you to know as Leo parents that you have done a great job and to allow for those children to show their independence. I have the Lady of the Lake and the Opportunity of the Obstacle, and I have Merlina. Merlina is a card of confusion because you don't have enough information. You don't have any experience in this realm. And then Lady of Lake is going to ask you to go to your deepest truth, to be courageous. Then in the angel's advice, I have Mystique saying to keep charging ahead. And this is like Gloria Estefan to me, coming out of the light and into out of the dark and into the light. I finally see the light and it's shining down on me. This is very much to me, about her seeing the wisdom of her bus accident and that song that was written. And then there's the transformation, the death card. So I want to say it this way. I feel like if Leo parents are like, let's say your first child is going off to college and showing independence and you have no experience with that. And you're like, did I do a good job? Will this kid make good decisions? I'm not going to want to get any phone calls, not from the police, whatever. This is a time for you to trust that, to risk a bigger thought of what you have done in your way of parenting. And if indeed, you know, it could be anything. Your kids could be going through any sort of transitional period where you are unknown. I'm on Leo rising right now. And so this feels like it's about your cubs to me. It feels like it's about your little, you know, the cat. The cat is Leo. I mean, Leo's a lion, but this is a domesticated lion. So I feel like about allowing them to have a little bit of independence. Now I want to address those that don't have any children at all, okay? Because this then would be about the children, your dream babies, the things that you want to birth into this world, the things that you know, having a bit of independent thought and knowing that you are doing a good job at whatever it is you're endeavoring. And this Merlina card, really, as far as research goes, it feels more like it has to do with with the unknown and being courageous within sitting in this unknown place. And the angel's advice offering me this transformation as I continue to move towards, I'm in the gray still here. I'm still coming out of the dark. And then opal would represent my for single people, this would represent the dreams I want to birth for myself. And if there is no action, it's my job on some level to continue to risk the bigger thought. I think I've said to you guys that this card morphed into Donald Trump for me. Now, that may get some people, kind of huffy, but I just want to say it's not because of his presidency. It's because when he was campaigning, he had such razor focus on his agenda. And it felt like energetically, he literally knocked people off the platform because he would not shift. It didn't matter what anybody said. He continued to risk having a bigger thought of himself than anybody else. So I feel like that's what's up for Leo this week. Okay, let's go on to Virgo. I'm going to just open my screen up so I can see you guys a little bit what you're seeing. My mother is a Leo. I recently made a decision that I'm scared to tell her about. Oh, Crystal. Well, send God and the angels, talk to them first, and that way you can get your being energy and have them be there with you while you have to express whatever it is that you need to express. Okay, here we go, Virgo. Oh, yeah. I know he's got quite a, Stephen, yes, the president has quite a few interesting planetary aspects that make him who he is today. Okay, let's go on to Virgo. Woo. Rising, Virgo rising, everybody. All right, our first angel is Chantal. The second is Yvonne. The third is Caressa. And the final is Archangel Gabriel. All righty. Chantal is showing herself quite a bit today. And here we are, right here in the beginning of spring. I think that's rather fun. And a new moon this week. Oh, and Venus is in Pisces. So that's that too. I don't know if you guys heard Lotta, but there are 4 planets for now. I think it's for the next couple of weeks. We have Venus exalted in Pisces. We have Aries, the sun exalted in Aries. And then we have Saturn in Capricorn and Jupiter in Sagittarius. So she was saying this is very auspicious in many ways. So I think that's coming up for Virgo right now is why I'm getting all that in my head. Okay. All right. So we have the protection card with Chantal. We have the Queen with Yvonne. We have the Eagle with Caressa. And we have the Birth and the Rebirth card with Archangel Gabriel. Okay, so I'm just feeling romance on the books. I'm telling you guys. Chantal is absolutely the romance angel. There's only one of her in that deck. And she talks about a new romance is imminent or the resurgence of an existing relationship, becoming more warm and fuzzy. And then we have the protection card here. So it's a very, very interesting dynamic here. And I want to say this for Virgo because I'm talking for men and women. Just because the Queen card comes up, I'm not necessarily saying that as a feminine energy, because what I feel like Spirit is saying for my Virgo risings is that Yvonne for me represents vulnerability to a bigger picture of myself. And this would be vulnerability to a relationship. And in this respect, it would be about owning yourself in the relationship. So if you are a woman in relation, and I'm just going to use the traditional relationships of man and women. If for some reason you're varied off of that, you can adjust as needed, okay? Because I feel like the Queen is not about dominion over others. It's not about dominance. It's actually the opposite. It's about the nurturing energy and also knowing your own value. If this is a man, it's about knowing your own value and having and nurturing those qualities and nurturing your relationship for yourself, being vulnerable to a bigger picture of romance as you are going through any sort of transition within your romance, because I have Caressa in the Angel's Advice, which is saying that a new chapter is coming. You're coming to the close of one chapter. And then we have the Eagle, which is about integrity, the connection to the angelic realm, spirit. This is in direct relation to this. I feel like spirit is saying for my Virgo risings, it's time to own what you bring to the table, own your value, own what it is that you, not only what you, I feel like I don't want to focus in on the other person, and I don't want to focus in on how they're showing up. I want to start to focus in on me, rebuild my sense of confidence, because I have Archangel Gabriel here asking me to turn over my insecurities and also asking me to look at how I'm communicating with myself. Because whatever's transitioning, this is the birth and the rebirth card. So you're going to revisit whatever dynamic was going on or what is going on in your intimate body right now. So Virgo, if indeed you are not in a relationship, but you want to be in a relationship, then be vulnerable to the idea of being in a relationship, but also not so much about, does the other person like me? It's more about, no, how do they make me feel in the relationship? Do I feel like a queen? Do I feel revered? Do I feel cherished in the relationship? Do I feel like a king? Am I treated kindly when I'm expressing myself? Because it's time for Virgo to start to have a new experience in their love body. That's what this feels like to me. And that's what this birth and the rebirth card has to do here. So I want to offer you this idea, guys. Why not use this new moon? And I mean, we have a new moon every month. I know that. But it's always an energy to just put a little focus, a little oomph behind the truth of what you want in relationship. And then being vulnerable to the idea of trusting your heart. I don't feel like this has to do with like another person and a breakup or anything like that. It feels more like my viewpoint and perspective in relationship. And when I feel, and I want to offer this idea too to everybody, not just Virgo rising, but if we as humans really listened to our inner truth, I think what happens is for a lot of people, we start to endeavor a relationship. If it doesn't work out, we kind of go through a mourning process. We kind of back off that dynamic for a while. And then I think we get sick of backing off of it. And we come back into the ring and we see someone we like. And it's been so long since we've seen someone we like that we get a little, beer goggles, whatever you want to call it, rose-colored glasses, and we don't really listen to the truth that's trying to be told to us. So if we are really assessing our relationship as if we are being treated the way we want to be treated, and we are treating our partner as such that they want to be treated, then we can really feel safer and more protected in the love relationship, because that inner knowing is spirit trying to protect you from a situation that you don't have to walk through unless you want to. Okay, let's go on to Libra rising. Feels like love is in the air this week, according to Spirit. And I kind of think of it this way too, because, those of us that have been really hurt in relationships, we tend to brace, we tend to look for where it could potentially be a problem. And I think there's those that have been fortunate enough to have had experiences where love doesn't make them brace as much, or they have enough trust in themselves that if somebody treats them in a way that doesn't work, they just step out and it doesn't affect them the same way. And so therefore, that when they go into relationship, they're more open-hearted in some respects. So I kind of want to say that as we move through this, and for Virgo rising, the more faith you can have in your own ability to trust your inner knowing versus your tiredness of being single, then you'll feel safer in relationship, and you'll have a more open heart walking into it. Hi, Norway. Okay, going on to Libra. Our first angel is Ray. The second is Rosetta. The third is Celeste. And the final is Astera. Okay. All right, we have the Bee card joining Ray. We have the Serpent joining Rosetta. We have the Raven joining Celeste. And we have the Letting Go card joining Astera. Okay, so for my Libra rising, Ray is my angel of connection to spirit. You know, she talks about having yoga and exercise being essential to your well-being, but look at her. She's sitting in a completely meditative position with her hands in the Om position. She's got her power chakra connected to her third eye, and it's flanked by her heart and her throat chakra. She is turning over to spirit, her desires, her wants, her concerns, and everything. And in that, she is connecting to her being energy. This is what spirit is asking for Libra rising this week. Being aware of your being energy. What is your dominant thought? If indeed they're going through some sort of, whether it be a challenge or an exciting thing, I feel like I want to continue to look at my dominant thought, because sometimes when exciting things are happening, we are also a little bit nervous, because in the opportunity or the obstacle, I have the angel Rosetta, and then I have the serpent. The serpent is about knowledge and healing, and this is about a childlike innocence. And for Libra, I believe that is what this is about this week, is turning over your wants and desires and your being energy. What do I believe? What is my attitude? What is my disposition? The dominant thought is what spirit responds to. And it looks to me, the angel's advice, that they're telling you that your dominant thought is shifting. And this is in some ways a matter of synchronistic events. It's a matter of, I talk about that the angel's advice in these weekly things is not necessarily predicting, but to help you maneuver through the astrological dynamics. So for my Libra rising, and I'm saying rising just to be clear, it can be Libra sun and moon as well, but I feel like there's an opportunity to shift my being energy and turning over what I am powerless over right now to spirit, so that then I can then, in many ways, spirit gets to take over. Here's the baton passing from Libra to spirit this week, and using this new energy, because here we have Astera saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and not to compromise. And again, here's the letting go card. I can't let anything go. I'm going to say it every single time I pull this card. This is about reconciliation. It's about making my fears work through for me. It's about breaking the box to see what I can do when I actually align to what my deepest desires are. And that shifts my belief of things. But I have to get a certain amount of momentum going in order for that to happen. So I want to say this for Libra. This week feels like it's putting my order into the universe. I don't know if you all have In-N-Out burgers or McDonald's or whatever, but you're going through the drive-through and you're putting your order into spirit. When you go to the drive-through, you're not too concerned whether you're going to get everything. You do a quick look in the bag and you drive off. It's the same thing, trusting spirit this week in many respects, knowing that you're being protected, and that this dynamic feels like it gives you the strength the next time this happens, because these things happen repeatedly where we're standing in an unknowing and we have to ask ourselves, is this going to be a yes or a no? Is this good for me, or is this going to challenge me? This is going to help build that muscle for you this week. Okay, on to Scorpio. Welcome, Martina. Hello, Dubai. Hello, Norway. Hi, Beverly Hills. Welcome, everybody. Okay, and since we're here, I just want to let everybody know, I know I'm being kind of repetitive here, but I want to know that we had a winner this week of our free half-hour reading. It was Artsy Girl Marilyn, and she pulled the number 77. So I have pulled another number this week. I'm hoping that we get another winner. I like giving away these half-hour free readings. And I want to remind everybody, you have to submit your number between 1 and 500, either in the live chat or in the comments below. If you send feedback to Lotta's site, your number will not be submitted for the game. It's just because I want everybody to be able to see who got the number first. So if it comes through a side thing, then nobody else can see it. Okay, on to Scorpio. Steven, you're killing me. You're so funny today. Wonder where Orphan is. She's not here. I don't see her. I don't know why I see. Oh, I guess it's. Okay. I love the way, yeah. When we talk about the different schools of astrology, it really can shift things around. And that's why I believe that spirit really wants us always to sort of connect to that deeper knowing, because we are ebbing and flowing and we are shifting. And depending upon different, different positions in a room, you're going to have a different perspective. You're going to have a different eye line. So I like looking at the various different ways of cutting up the pie. Placidus, whole sign, tropical, all those things. Okay. Is tropical and placidus the same thing? Okay, here we go, Scorpio. Our first angel is Rochelle. Our second is Francesca. Our third is Fiona. And the final is Grace and Antoinette. All right. Okay. Joining Rochelle is the Focus card. Joining Francesca is the Death card. Joining Fiona is the Horse. And joining Grace and Antoinette is the Burden card. Okay. So Scorpio, this is very interesting to me because this feels very much like an inside job. And I want to offer you this idea because, you know, we talk about this Pluto-Saturn conjunction, and you are ruled, modern day ruler is Pluto. So I wouldn't be surprised if for some reason, Scorpio, Rochelle is asking you to honor the guidance of your heart, to go to that place, that vulnerable place, that the deeper truth of what you want, and very much to focus in on that. It is our focus. It is the amount of attention and intention that we put into a dynamic that starts to manifest things. Because I'm going to jump to the fourth position. I've got the Burden card, and I've got Grace and Antoinette here. And this is Grace and Antoinette represent having compassion in a situation. And obviously Burden is a challenging energy. What I feel like for my Scorpios is that you kind of might be feeling a little like a wobble within your belief system of, you know, is this really going to happen? Will I ever get that relationship I want? It feels like a wobble in your belief. And that seems supported by Francesca asking you to visualize what you want and what you desire, because that will bring that around. And it is really the dominant thought. And here's the Death card. This is a transformation card. Now, in the angel's advice, I have Fiona saying, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance. And then here is the Horse, which is about to me, the horse is the most sensitive of animals. It can pick up on fears we don't even know we have and will not respond to us. So it's really an energetic card. So I feel like for Scorpio this week, maybe you've been worn down by a dream that hasn't happened, or something that you thought would have happened by now. And so, you know, in order to you have to allow for the transformation of that right now. And it isn't in your hands. It's in Spirit's hands. Okay. So let me just give you this sort of metaphor. Let's say that you have been single for a long time and you really want to be in a relationship with someone else. And let's say that, you know, you've reached a certain age and that's starting to feel like pie in the sky. It's starting to feel like, will it ever happen? Can I ever meet somebody? I feel like one of the things that Spirit might say to Scorpio this week is, have you considered that the other party has a certain journey, and maybe they're going through a certain dynamic that if you allow for that, let's say they went through a breakup, or they were married and that marriage had to dissolve so that your relationship could start. I feel like Scorpio, Spirit's asking you to focus in on a bigger picture of your desires than maybe you have been, and not getting caught up in a small story of yourself. And that might be that Pluto energy that's just, you know, triggering your fears and your deepest, fears is the best way to put it. Okay, so I don't see any movement more. This feels more like one of those inside jobs where, as I'm compassionate with myself, I'm going to pull a clarification card for Scorpio as well, because that Burden card doesn't feel very good. Because I want to say sometimes we get caught in a way of thinking, and you know what? It's hard to just get out of it. It can be consuming. And this Plutonian energy is consuming, it's compulsive, it's obsessive. So even the most balanced of us may be going through situations that challenge us to stay focused in on our deeper truth, on that deeper faith. And because Scorpio is so energetically aligned, you may feel things that you don't even know why you're feeling them, and they're putting you on alert. That's what that feels like to me. So, clarification card. Okay, this is good, because a lot of it has to do with the story you've been telling yourself. This is the Baird. The Baird is my history. It's my story. It's what I've experienced. So you're really kind of, in a place, Scorpio, where you're focusing on something that is just a dream inside. How do I want to put this? To me, Rochelle is that deeper, deeper, deeper truth of what I want to be and what I want to experience. And that deeper truth may not always align to what other people think is cool, or other people think is productive, or other people think is worthy in this world. And Rochelle is asking that, Scorpio, no, it's time to have compassion for yourself and to sort of push past what anybody else thinks about what you want, and to just kind of be aware that you are going sort of through a metamorphosis of allowing your history to start to work for you versus pulling you under and putting you back in the same old place. Okay. All right. Let's go on to Sagittarius. Hi, Gaia. Welcome. Hi, Phoenix. Thank you. Okay. All right. Here we go. What is up, Sagittarius? Alpha, I would say this, if you're feeling procrastination and you can't stop, there's more than likely a fear bubble that you're walking through. And I would just say to Spirit, thank you for inspiring me to my next place versus focusing in on the procrastination, because I found myself too being frustrated with certain things and feeling like I should be moving something forward. And then when I was able to just say, you know what, I just don't have the real emotional desire to do that right now. And then when I took the pressure off of myself, it almost felt like an idea popped, and it was even more, it was a better idea than what me trying to push up against something. Okay. All right. Here we go, Sagittarius. All right. Our first angel is Mystique. Our second is Aurora. Our third is Rosetta. And our final is Isabella. Okay. Joining Mystique is the Letting Go card. Joining Aurora is the Bee card. Joining Rosetta is the Fear card. And joining Isabella is the Lady of the Lake. Okay, so this is what this feels like to me, Sagittarius. Mystique is about charging ahead and expecting miraculous solutions. Miracles are alignment to source energy with my intentions and my desires, and that is my dominant thought. It is over 50%. It's not focusing on the road to getting there. It's also not about a I'm sorry, I just got distracted for a second. Mystique is not about manifestation just yet, guys. It's about the road to getting there and the continuation to move that story forward. And then I have the Letting Go card. The Letting Go card is about, to me, it's not about letting anything go. It's about that song from Frozen. The character starts off feeling very isolated, very lonely, very isolated. And then as she surrenders to that isolation, she ends up finding her when she goes to her authentic self and she starts to create these ice castles. I'm sure so many of you have seen the movie, but the song is very impactful because I'm going to jump to the final position, Sagittarius. I have the Lady of the Lake asking you to have courage to go to your deepest truth, because Isabella is saying the timing is right to do this, that it's about continuing to move the story forward. In your opportunity, your obstacle is Aurora. Aurora is saying you're flying high right now. Don't descend. You will soon inspire others because you broke the box. You didn't think the way everybody else thought. Your being energy shifted things in a way that other people could not see. Now, in the angels' advice, they're saying there is fear here, but they're asking you to have a childlike innocence over that. And when you go there, they can start to give you evidence, Sagittarius. Here we go. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, let's just do that. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry. Again, I'm trying not to interrupt the readings, but if there's snarkiness in the chat, I got to. Okay. So for Sagittarius, this is what I was about to say. Jupiter is in your sign. And yes, some of you may be feeling it in a very big way. Some of you, I didn't feel Jupiter in Libra at all. So, that. But for me, this is a bigger picture. This is continuing to write my own story about what I want. Just continuing to move the story this way and having the courage to know that as I do that, Spirit is starting to align things. And any sort of, because in the angel's advice is not about necessarily about active fear. It's about being aware of being fear and then being aware of my being energy as I move forward. Okay. I don't know if we should have that comment on there, guys. I'm gonna have to remove that one. Okay. All right, let's go on to Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, my goats, I got to tell you, I thought about you all week long because here in Laguna Beach, one of the greatest things in the world is every spring they bring in herds of goats and they go up on the hillside and they graze. It's their way of fire control. Let me hold on. You guys bear with me 1 second. I'm going to just jump up for a second. I know this is annoying, but I got somebody who thinks we have an appointment right now and it's not for another hour. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Apologize. I really apologize. I'm sorry. When you're dealing with international, trying to do the readings, sometimes the timing gets mixed up. Okay, so hopefully she got that and we'll go from here. All right, so my goats. So every spring they have the sheep or the goat herders come up, and they've been all around going from spot to spot. There must be like 100 of them, and they're so cute. I got to tell you, it's really fun. So I thought about you all week long when I was looking up at the hillside. I'm going to tell you, I tried to take a picture, but I didn't know how you would see the goats would look like this big, so I didn't do it. Okay. All right, here we go, Capricorn. Our first angel is Shanti. The second is Raphael. The third is Mystique. And the final is Bridget. Okay. Okay. We have the birth and the rebirth card joining Shanti. We have the frog joining Archangel Raphael, the serpent joining Mystique, and the letting go card joining Bridget. Well, okay. So Capricorn, Shanti is the angel of peace. She's always talks about whatever is disrupting the peace has to move out before that peace can be brought in. So it's funny because I feel like for Capricorns, and I have the birth and the rebirth card here, I feel like we may be revisiting an issue that has come up that I want to say is disrupting my peace. And I say that because when I come to the final position, I have the letting go card and I have Bridget. So it doesn't feel like I'm being able to revisit the peace. I'm revisiting something that's disrupted it. It's almost as if you know, two people have, this is an example. Two people have a relationship together and they have certain habits, and you're trying not to have those habits because you drive each other crazy. And then we kind of go through this situation where we're good for a while and then we fall back into those habits. And that's what this feels like. We've fallen back into some habits that may not serve us. And I don't know that that's the Capricorn purporting the habit, or if there are people around you that are doing this. I tend to feel like this is people around you, because I have in the opportunity, the obstacle, I have the frog and I have Archangel Raphael. These are two highly healing energies. And for me, healings is really a reconciliation of an experience. It's where I understand that the challenge has empowered me, okay? Because I have Mystique and I have the Serpent in the angel's advice. So Mystique is saying, keep charging ahead, expect miraculous solutions. This is a journey. And the Serpent is allowing for me to shed a skin as I gain knowledge, and I feel reconciled with it. I feel healed with it. But it is not happening right now, because Bridget is saying there's something more going on, to look deeper into the situation. And I feel like the letting go card is asking you to write your own story about this. Okay. So when I say that, so if indeed we are revisiting a situation where we thought we had gotten to a certain plateau of harmony and now it's disruptive again, it's time to go be brave and to look deeper into not only the situation, but maybe your reaction to it as well. Because I feel like this is the opportunity where it's funny how some distance makes everything look small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. So a little interesting. Feels very much on the emotional body, mental body than it does in the physical world. Feels like somebody's grating on my nerves. That's what it feels like. Or somebody has bad habits and they just continue to purport those bad habits. And you've got to remind them, we talked about this, okay? We talked about this. Don't clip your toenails in the living room. Go out on the patio, that kind of thing. Okay, that was a gross analogy, but there you go. Okay, on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, what is up for you this week? While I'm shuffling again, just going to remind you guys, we are every week we're going to be playing this little game between 1 and 500. All the previous numbers will be removed from the bowl, so they won't be in play. Numbers over 500 are not in play. Numbers that are submitted through Lotta's website are not in play. Only numbers that are in the live chat and in the comments after on the playback are eligible for winning. Okay. Here we go, Aquarius. Our first angel is Oceana. Our second is Caressa. The third is Rosetta. And the final is Archangel Michael. Okay. It's the like really toenail analogy is so gross to me. I really don't want to see that. All right, Aquarius, here we go. Ooh, all right. The Fire Fairy flew out and is joining Oceana, and the Burden card flew out to join Caressa. Rosetta is being joined by the Deer, and Archangel Michael is being joined by the Goblin. Okay. Well, this is kind of a mixed bag. I'll be honest with you. The Fire Fairy talks about creative action and optimism, okay? And Oceana will talk about lovingly asserting yourself and trusting yourself in the situation. This to me feels a little bit like it's more in the creative process, meaning it doesn't feel like, even though she's saying take action, I don't think it's like, let's say you're a painter. I don't think it's about the actual painting. I think it's taking action in the concept, okay? And I go back there because it feels like something is shifting, because Archangel Michael is asking me to have courage, and the Goblin is here, the ego. And I don't think that this is about a wounded ego. I think it's about assessing I feel like Aquarius may be taking a new action, a new creative action, and we're not quite sure how it will land on others or how it will be received in some ways. Because it feels like in the angel's advice, I have Caressa saying that you're coming to the end of a life cycle and that new happiness awaits you. And then I have the burden card. This feels like evolution to me for Aquarius. It feels like it's really more about going from one step to the next step, going from one vibration to another, and something that's as we align to the things that we want more and more, there can be this little back and forth where we get a little bit nervous because I have Rosetta in the angel's advice and I have the deer. So this is really, to me, in the angel's advice, this is going to be about trusting a childlike innocence. And then this is about being gentle and diplomatic with myself while I do this, because there's a part of me that doesn't know what this is going to look like on the other side. And this is why Archangel Michael is asking you to have the courage to allow for these changes. So I want to kind of put it this way too, because Aquarius was on that eclipse axis for 2 years with Leo. And so this may have to do with sort of that still coming to some sort of reconciliation, those changes, those things that were happening. Now it feels like it's about having creative action and optimism beyond that, and not letting the experiences I've had or my doubt, the doubt lives in the ego. So that's kind of where I want to go with that. To be courageous. I don't feel like my ego is wounded here. I feel like my ego is saying, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? I don't know. Do you have enough money? Do you have... And Archangel Michael is saying, please, we're good. We're good. Okay, sorry about that bad voice I just made. All right, so we're going on to Pisces, everybody. And before we do Pisces, I'm just going to remind you all that I'm offering a special for the next 2 weeks. This is angelic advice for traversing the Pluto-Saturn Ketu transit. It's going to be focused in on the house that you are experiencing that transit and what Spirit has to say for you. It'll be on special for the next 2 weeks. And then it will go up. It's 40% off. So you can find that on Lotta's channel. I'm also going to be offering some different kinds of readings that are focused in on some other things. I want to talk to Lotta about it, but we may talk about some Akashic records and see about some stuff like that. That might be fun to do. Okay, so now I'm going on to Pisces. Here we go. Pisces, our final sign. All right. Well, Mystique just flew out of the deck. Kind of think it's funny how they come in clusters. Okay. And then we have Layla. We have Archangel Gabriel. And we have Aurora again. All right. Oh, who flew out here to join Mystique? We have the Water Fairy. Okay. Joining Layla is the Death card. Joining Archangel Gabriel is the Serpent. And joining Aurora is Merlin. Well, this is really interesting. Okay, Pisces. So Mystique talks about charging ahead to expect miraculous solutions. Many things I'm going to say repeatedly because the energies don't change. So this is an alignment to something. This is an alignment to a bigger version of myself, and this willingness to be sort of tenacious in my path, because I'm not out of the dark yet. I may be able to see my way a little bit, but I'm not clear. And this is sort of where what's going on? Sorry, guys. Okay, so because we can't, certain things Lotta doesn't want on the chat. So if you put websites and stuff, we're going to have to hide those messages. Okay, sorry to interrupt. So Pisces, this is about your intuitions. This is about your feelings. Mystique is asking you to continue to charge ahead and charge ahead on your inner knowing. You're not charging ahead because you have hardcore evidence or manifestation of it just yet. There's still, it's in process, because you are going through a transformation in many ways. This death card is never about physical death. It's about transformation. It's about the death of my illusions. It's about empowering myself to see myself from spirit's point of view. And I do that when I connect to spirit. Looking out at the stars at night, if you're fortunate enough to be, in a place where there's not too many lights, give yourself an opportunity this week to really connect with being outside, letting your eyes stretch beyond what you're used to seeing. I feel like that's really the angels. The opportunity is here because it's there that Archangel Gabriel will get to support you, to help appease whatever fears and insecurities you have. And then in doing so, we get to shed a skin. Archangel Gabriel will talk about having an important purpose in life, and involving arts and communications. But in this world right now, everything is communications. Everything is third house. What we're doing right now is third house. Little ninth house too, because of all the foreign people. But so it's really about stepping into Aquarius, this way of communicating with yourself and with spirit that allows you to have a deeper knowing. This is a week of building your connection to spirit so that you can step into Aurora's energy and trust that you're breaking a box. When you break a box, you have to build a new one. And that's what Merlin is here to do, to help you through, in some ways, the pressure of having to continue with some evidence, but mostly an inner knowing for my Pisces, and then to continue to move forward, and then maybe just to do things just a little bit different than everybody else did them. That's what that feels like to me. And in doing so, I have to say, it feels very much, here I'm talking about Venus and Pisces. This energy, for me, Venus is the ultimate goddess. What does the ultimate goddess do? She trusts the goddess within. So this really feels like it has great opportunities for Pisces to get a stronger footing within their own emotional, spiritual, and bodies and their connection to spirit. So this feels really great. Okay, awesome. I think that's it for this week, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Hi, Lee. No, Orphan didn't show up today. She wasn't here. I didn't see her. I want to thank everybody for joining. When we get to the end of the video, guys, if you're still putting your number in the chat, you may want to go back and make sure that it stayed in the chat. Last week, I noticed that some people had put numbers at the end, and then when I went back to look, those numbers weren't there anymore. So I couldn't figure out if any of those people happened to win. Again, I'm going to be doing, I've got that special reading on Lotta's site for this transit with Pluto, K2, and Saturn. It's for 2 weeks, 40% off. And I'll be back next week. I can't wait to see you all again. Thank you so much again for joining, sending tons of love to you. May the angels watch over you during this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.